Today marks 415 days lessons I learned and continue to learn with you. I hope these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about life paths. Such an interesting topic because sometimes we believe that there's only one right path and that's it. There's one vision, one way of doing things. And when we have that belief, there's one path, one right path. When you start going that path, sometimes we are afraid to change. We are afraid to be resourceful. And I think that thinking of one path leaves us in a position of stuckness. And sometimes we believe that, okay, this is what we're supposed to do. So if that's supposed to do, but I'm not happy, that means that my life is almost worthless. And I think that we need to really remove that kind of thinking and understand that there's a vision of ourselves, what we want to achieve, what we want to become. But there's so many paths to achieve exactly the same thing. And I think that when we able to reflect on what is the major things in our lives, what are the priorities, and in what way would you be happy? I think that when we become more creative, we start to realize that there's so many ways to live a meaningful, purposeful, and beautiful life. I have been stuck in the same thing. I have been thinking that, okay, like I chose this path and I need to do that 100%. But I realized that when you really try, and I really love when you really creative and prototype and look into and explore different paths, and it's like, okay, now I know what I like. Now I know what could be good thing for me and what is not. When we do not do that, it's very hard to really say that something is for you or not for you when you do not try. So when you look into menu and like which one I'm supposed to try, some days it's like, yeah, I will try this one. But when you really go through the menu and have tasted all the cakes, all the food, now you know exactly what kind of food is the favorite and best for you. And I think that with life is very similar. We need to understand what we need to achieve, what we want to achieve, but at the same time we need to really test things. And today I will focus on about really understanding the paths and what we're supposed to consider when we think about those paths to achieve our vision. So number one, I think that probably the most important thing, you need to understand that a lot of the times when you think about the future and have set visions, we have a tendency to set based on what do we want to have. We want to have a good job, we want to have a business, we want to have a yacht, we want to have something else, we want to have kids, or like there's a list of all the things that we want to have. But I think that's not, maybe it's a good thing. It still has to have something on your list rather than having empty. But I think that's what is the best way to do it is what are the inner paths. So that means that ways of being, that's where the true paths are hidden. So that means we're able to look at you, life of gratitude. So that means we're able to seeing beauty in ordinary. So that means in what way do you want to live? In what way do you want to live? And it's like, I want to live in gratitude way. I want to be able to see beautiful things in my life in front of me. And I don't want to really go through them, but be able to appreciate things in front of my life. And I think that when you have the life live on gratitude, you start to believe that your life is better, even though it's better. I think sometimes we forget how beautiful life is when we focus on different paths that is based on things that is actually not helping us. Second thing is a growth path. So always learning, always improving, always getting more wisdom, more understanding, more perspective. Because I think there's some things that supposed to be less in our lives and some things supposed to be more, and that wisdom. And even gratitude could be more. Learning, perspective, going higher, understanding more things. I think that's, again, having more wisdom will help all the time. Wisdom, but of course, more wisdom always helps more. Sometimes more knowledge, not necessarily, but when we transform that knowledge to wisdom, it always helps. So that means expanding, involving, that's what truly matters. That's we need to have more of them. And when you have more of that means that we have less fear, less discomfort, less misfortunes, because we have the wisdom necessary to really have resilience and all the things necessary to achieve the paths necessary. The next path is life of compassion. So that means helping others, serving others. And I think that when we really serve others, when we add value to others and make other people's lives better, it's impossible not to have a meaning. When you see other people's lives getting better, they have better life because of you. Just impossible not to be empowered by it. And that's also something. One of the most selfish thing that you could do in life is adding value to others. So they are better because of it, and you are better because of it. That's just impossible. There's this amazing math equation. You give, at the same time you get even more. You get multiplied. You give 1 and you get 10. You give 10, you give 100. And I think it's very, very important. The next path is life of authenticity. And that means living aligned with the true life, truth. But aligned with the truth. And truth is based on your values, based on your aspirations, based on your meaning, based on your purpose, based on the things that truly matters for you. Not the things that it's makes you successful, because I think that success is a very interesting word, because sometimes success is the worst thing for you. I think that when we define success and when you truly know what a true success means, and I think that what success means is achieving the meaning, achieving the meaningful life. So definition of success, I think that will be one of the main reasons if you will achieve a successful life or not. Because if you don't define success, or you define success not in alignment with who you truly want to become, and of course that could potentially lead to disaster. And I think the last path that I want to mention is life path of presence. That means being able to really be fully experiencing now. But I think that guilty as well, that have a tendency to live in the past, remember all the good things, all the bad things. You can have a tendency to live in the future, all the things that we'll be able to do when we'll achieve some sort of success. But the most important part, being able to really have the presence, being able to enjoy every single moment, enjoy the journey towards that beautiful future that we have set for ourselves. That's what truly matters, presence. And I think that we're able to decide, okay, I will live my life in a present moment. I will ask questions that bring present moment. What could I do right now? What do I want to feel right now? What could I change right now? That right now is the key to success in life, because I think that sometimes I get lost and think like, okay, like there's such a massive problem probably, but again, the life-saving question is what I could do right now, because every single time we be able to do something, and it's better to do something than really be discouraged because of that problem. Number 2, I think that the first way is of being, of course, not having, being. That's the key. And second way of what we need to consider after we considering the way of being, we need to consider ways of doing. That means that outer pathways, because first one is inner pathways, now it's outer pathways, and I think that we'll be able to look into what way do you want to do things? Because there's so many jobs, there's so many ways, and I think that we're able to ask, like, what do you want to do in that career? What do you want to do in that job? What do you want to do in that business that really could make me live my life with more meaning, more joy, more bliss? And that means that maybe I want to create, so more creating. So maybe art, writing, building, music, like so many ways to create. And ask, like, okay, what do you want to create? Second thing, it could be like serving. So it means, like, of course, I want to teach, heal, guide, protect. There's so many ways of when we think about serving, adding value. So when you understand, like, I want to create. So, okay, what kind of careers could allow me to create? Okay, I want to serve. What kind of ways could I serve? I could potentially explore. I mean, maybe I want to be an adventurer. Maybe I want to really research, curiosity, all the things that you really, in what path could really bring more exploring? And it's not that we're able to, like, I want to really just service. Maybe I want to really be creative and service at the same time. So what kind of career paths, what kind of paths will allow me to really use my creativity, use my serving mind to really find the lifestyle that allows me to bring both of them and exploring? Maybe the exploring is not important for you. Maybe you want to really just maybe connect. Maybe this is your path when you connect. You want to connect with businesses, when you connect with family, friendships, community, love, where connection is the key to success. Because some people are extroverts that really want to connect, and everything is about connection. And that's, again, this is potentially could be your strength. Some people strength is really creativity. Some other people's strength is being able to connect with people people to each other, and even knowing yourself. That's again where the awareness is. It could be leading and inspiring. So maybe you want to be in the front, taking mistakes, taking risks, not being afraid to really be embarrassed, taking responsibility, taking accountability, and say like, this is where I want to. I want to be in charge of setting the vision, and of course, if you want to set the vision for the corporation, for the business, for the community, what we want to do, we want to have a clear vision for ourselves. If you're not able to set the vision for ourselves, how are we able to set the vision for people that we lead? That's, of course, almost impossible. So that means, of course, we need to really set a vision for ourselves first before we're able to really set the vision for the people around us. And at the same time, we want to nurture. And that is, again, nurture is all about maybe even someone's behind all the career. But that is, again, the most ambitious person is a person who really wants to nurture their kids, nurture their environment, caring for people, mentoring people. And that means nurturing is the one thing that you really want to do. And this is a powerful and meaningful thing that every single person is able to choose. So the pathways, when we discussed already, the one pathway is pathway of being. What way you want to be in life. Second is a pathway of doing. In what you want to do, but per se not what kind of job, but what you want to create with your doing. And I think that is creativity, like leading. All those are important. And last one, number 3, I want to mention is that there's crossroads. Different lifetimes within our lifetime. This is a beautiful thing. Different lifetimes within our lifetimes. What it means is that we're able to live different life in different times. That means between 20 to 30, we maybe live a life of creation. Maybe from 30 to 40, we will live a life of inspiration. Maybe from 40 to 50, we'll live a life of nurturing. So that means that we're able to choose, we're able to change. And that's a beautiful thing. I think that so many times we define our life, and we believe that this definition will stick for us for a lifetime till the end of our life, but that's not true. I think knowing that we're able to be not rigid, but we're able to be creative, we're able to be adaptable, we're able to be flexible, we're able to really change our way of thinking, we're able to change our perspectives because we grow, we improve, and when we know more about ourselves, when we become more aware, when we grow, at that moment we know more about ourselves, we know about the things that we need to do to really be more joyful, more meaningful, more purposeful, and things could change. And I think that when you have that understanding, I think that life becomes more joyful because you know that worst case scenario, if you do not like the path it shows right now, you will be able to change. You will be able to adapt. You will be able to make things better. And that's where you have different lifetimes at different times. And that's totally okay. I think that is not that people believe that there's some believe that choosing different path, that means that you failed previous path. No, like it might be that you were successful and you did great jobs in the previous life, but that doesn't mean that you need to stay there. It means that maybe you're achieving great things, but now you want to move to the best things. And maybe you failed previous, maybe because you didn't choose the right pathway. So that's totally fine as well, because you just didn't have the knowledge, perspective, understanding, and the wisdom of yourself and the market around you, just to make sure to make the right choice. So supposed to be grateful and happy that you have the necessary wisdom right now. And you didn't need to waste extra couple of years. Now you have the wisdom necessary to really make better choice and really move towards, because it might be that when you're moving from a bad pathway and moving to other pathway, maybe you will not move to the best pathway, but moving to a little bit better pathway, that's still a progress, and that's what we're supposed to seek. Progress is a beautiful word, and that's what when we look at our pathways in our lives, that's what we always need to look at. Is this better? And then if it is, okay, I think that I'm on the good path. So this is a big topic, and I might be that tomorrow will focus even more understanding of the pathway, because I think that's again one of the most important topics, because the way how we live and the pathway we choose will dictate how much meaning, joy, and bliss we can really attract to our lives. So that, of course, that is hours and hours reflections on that topic. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.